going to push him to be better.
Coach, talk about what you've seen from a leadership standpoint. You may have answered this earlier from Jauan Jennings. You talked about how you like that guys have personality, have swagger. Where is he on those levels with that, being himself, but also being a leader that you need him to be?
Oh, he's a guy. And I said it in my first interview that he's a championship caliber player. And it's my job to not focus on what he's done here. It's to focus on what we want him to do moving forward.
Right.
And my thing is I'm going to hold him to a standard that's so high because I see that in him. And I'm trying to push him to be great. And so I'm hard on him. And the younger guys see how hard I am on him, and they fall in line. When he falls in line, we all fall in line, and we just get better. So it's a great time right now because we're all getting to know each other even more, and the more we spend time with each other, we just get to know each other, how to push each other's buttons, and get the best out of each other.
I have a couple more questions, but I'm going to slide over to this side because there's glare with the windows. That's all right. All right. You're an interesting guy with your background, and in the state of Florida, there's obviously a ton of talent down there, and you guys have brought in a number of Florida guys. I think it was Mark Richt that said that he thinks that recruits down there are rated lower, maybe because of all the competition and the depth of players down there. Mm-hmm. And if they were in other areas, they would be ranked higher by the recruiting services. What do you think about that?
100% agree.
Yeah.
When you look at the recruiting as a landscape in the country, Florida always has 375 prospects to go off to college, and Texas is bigger than Florida, California is bigger than Florida, but we always have more guys go to college. And so that just goes to show you there's guys that don't play on their high school team. Josh Palmer didn't start for St. Thomas because he backed up Trayvon Grimes, but he can come here and be better than Trayvon Grimes as a college player. So that's just the way it is, and there's a lot of talent in Florida.
How tight is the competition for starting spots at wide receiver besides after Jauan Jennings?
It's tight, and I think that's the only way for it to be in order for it to be what you want it to be. The theme coming into camp has been don't compare, just compete.
Right.
And if you're sitting back looking at how many reps this guy got and how many opportunities that guy got, you're not competing. And when you get your opportunities, you won't be able to take advantage of them. So that's been the main focus, and just trying to get better every day.
What kind of extra attention as the lead guy, as the number one guy, is Jauan Jennings going to get in terms of defenses, rolling coverages, things like that? How much do you expect that to happen this year?
I expect it a lot.
Yeah.
With his understanding of the game of football and just his experience, and there's no situation in the game too big for him because he's been in them all. Mm-hmm. And so my job is to continue to push him for the next big moment and how to create that moment for himself and for his family and for us as a team. So that's just the main focus, just trying to continue to push these guys to compete and don't worry about the results right now. The results will take care of themselves.
How much do you guys do that in practice, knowing you're going to see that, giving him a whole bunch of attention, blanket coverage, guys, safeties over the top, just making it difficult for him just to challenge him from that standpoint?
Oh, I mean, it's not a go out of our way to see or observe anything. We call plays that we need to work on, and we go out here and we execute them.
Right.
If the defense takes them away, somebody else has to step up. That's the reality of the game. And so once they understand that, when they're given the opportunity and they take advantage of it, hey, you're starting to show some glimpses that you can be the guy when they take him out. And so as long as you just take advantage of the opportunity when you're given, everything else will take care of itself.
I know you're going to play the guys that are ready to play, but ideally, if you have a long list of guys that you think you can trust in a game. What's the ideal number of wide receivers to play in a game to rotate?
To be honest with you, if we got to play them all, we're going to play them all. That's just the mindset because it's a long season and you never know how things happen, and everybody has to be ready for their moment. And that's why I said, don't compare, just compete, and everything else will take care of itself.
What specifically, Coach Jones and some of his teammates have mentioned him a number of times. What have you seen specifically that you've liked from freshman Josh Palmer?
Josh Palmer's done a great job. He's done a great job coming in and applying himself to the playbook and learning his assignments and taking advantage of his opportunity. And I don't consume myself with what he does good because he came to the University of Tennessee to play football. He's supposed to be doing those things. What can I do as a coach to take him to the next level? Because that's my job, is to get every ounce of talent out of him that I can. So sometimes it's a arm around your shoulder. Sometimes it's a kick in the butt. But at the end of the day, it's all for the common goal of making plays and winning games and winning championships for Tennessee.
You guys have seen you guys work on, I know you do, on blocking at the wide receiver position. Who are some of your better blocking wide receivers?
You know what? You already know Juwan is the king of it all. Marquez does a really good job, and I think just watching Juwan and Callaway go out there and do it, it pushes everybody else to want to go out there and do it, and everybody else falling in line, and that's one of our main themes. If you can't block, you can't play. And so it's not about making plays. It's about doing the dirty work that's going to help us make some 10-yard runs, 60-yard runs. And once they understand that to that degree, everything else will take care of itself.
Last thing, I appreciate your time. How interchangeable are those wide receiver positions for you? A lot of times you get the smaller guys at the slot, bigger guys on the outside. How much do you like to move guys around to different wide receiver positions?
Well, I mean, ultimately that's the mindset you want to have, is to be able to move guys around, because defenses might try to take this guy out here and then you can move him around and just make it hard for him. But trying to get the guys to learn conceptually. And a lot of freshmen come in and they say, oh, I play this position, so I got to learn this position, and they're tunnel vision on that. And then in some plays, you got motions, you got shifts, and next thing you know, you're another guy now, and you don't know what you're doing. So, and when they don't know what they're doing, you got to hold them accountable, because we talked about it from the get-go. You got to learn conceptually. So that's the main focus that we're trying to do, so we can move guys around and put them in positions to do what we need them to do.
Very good. Thank you, Coach.
Not a problem.